What's good, everyone? Welcome back to FaShaun. This isn't a coincidence. Episode 23. You might know where I'm going with this. Actually, no, it is a coincidence. But anyways, I'll get into it. Today we're focusing on an iconic shoe. Something that I've wanted for a fairly long time now. And I finally have it. Well, I've had it in hands for a while, but when I finally got it, I was super thrilled. And as the episode number suggests, 23, today we're going to be looking at the Jordan 1 Chicago. Everybody wants to know how to style Jordans. They've kind of fell out of the trend cycle. As I say, don't ever follow trends. Buy things that speak to you. But this shoe does have a place in your wardrobe, and I'm going to show you how to style it properly, contrary to 2016 and the travesty to that did to young men. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, going into the box, what I love what they did with this is, technically this is the Chicago Trophy Room, which is a recent release, or the most recent release. The box is like weathered to show an aged look, which I really enjoy. You know, it even has like the sale thing from back in the day when they first dropped. A lot of homage here. Love this. This was super cool to see, just something different. They just took the extra step here. You know, $30 when they first released. Could you believe it? Now it's like a coffee's $30. Not in today's economy. But here they are. Purposefully, they look weathered. Red on the toe box, black. You know, this is done on purpose. This sort of cracking of the leather to show age. Put this here while we go through the rest of it. Excuse the sort of bad setup here. You also get kind of like a receipt here. Paid cash, final sale. Love that. It says when they first released. God, I hope this is August 30th, 1986. Paul, shout out Paul. But going into the shoe, put this back. Going into the shoe here, a little bit of a yellowing that they've done on purpose here. Red Nike Air Tag. This is a size 9. Made in China as usual. The quality of the leather on Jordan 1s always differs, but this is pretty much, I would say this is like 7 out of 10 quality, not like shattered backboard quality, like the OG shattered backboard, but definitely up there with good quality. This doesn't feel like the regular Nike cardboard leather. This feels good. So the Jordan 1, we all know about it. In the late 2010s, you're looking at 2012 to maybe around 2020, 2021 when COVID hit. Jordan 1s were hugely hyped. If you weren't lucky enough to win a raffle, or you weren't lucky enough to get them for cheap, you're paying resale anywhere from $500 to $1,000 for Jordan 1s. Just because, again, it was a trend. It was a trend that people wanted to buy into. Trend. They wanted to be seen as exclusive. They wanted to be seen as cool, and they sort of outsourced that to Jordans, which again is not the right way to style yourself. Style is personality through product, as I always say. And so that's an era of style that I really detest. But I will say that it got a lot of people into thinking about what they wear, which is a silver lining. These released 1986, as it said on that receipt. I think there was a 1995 retro OG pair, which I wish I could have that pair. That pair is awesome, but I mean, I'm not paying. I think now they're more of a collector's piece, and they're crumbling anyway. So I don't know if any pair exists that is usable and wearable. And then I think they had like a 2015, 2016, maybe a Chicago retro. I don't quite remember off the top of my head. That was the one that I missed out on. And then they had the trophy rooms. That was the most recent release, and this is the one that I like. I don't need to buy the other ones now. Like this is good enough. And I do like the packaging, and I do like the weathered look. I like that they put a little bit of a different sauce on it, a little bit of a spin on it. So that's great. In terms of the quality, again, like I said, it was really good. The silhouette is quite literally iconic. I don't use that word lightly. I think it's used quite prevalently, if that's a word. In today's society, I think it's just a marketing term at this point, but like the Converse Chuck, the Jordan 1 is an iconic silhouette, and a lot of shoes that even luxury designers, high fashion, they leverage it now. Going into the purchase rationale, again, I've always wanted a Chicago. not only just because the Jordan 1 silhouette looks good, but also because of its history. I wanted to buy a part of that history, be a part of that history, what Jordan did on the Bulls and what he did in this shoe specifically. Not to mention, the shoe has a lot of range. I'm not a fan of when people use it with suits. I think it attracts too much attention to the feet when it's used in a suit because you have uniformity and then you have a difference on the feet. Again, I say an outfit is the sum of its parts, and that's why I kind of don't like it in that sort of aspect. But when it comes to the range of different types of style, you know, Japanese style, Scandinavian style, Middle Eastern style, obviously Neo-American style, it fits all these ranges. It can be, obviously it's used in streetwear, but you can elevate it as well and take it to a different dimension. So it has range, it looks amazing, it's iconic. All of these factors sort of went into why I purchased it. I believe the purchase price new was around $280. So it's really getting up there. I don't think Jordan 1s are really worth that. I think the $220 mark, even in today's economy, is kind of where it should sit, especially because the technology of the shoe is old. They're kind of just increasing the price because they can. I know that's more profiteering on the corporate end, which is why Nike's on sort of a downfall when it comes to streetwear. But those are the main reasons why I think you guys would buy it and why I bought it, is because it has that history and it has that range. Usually at this point in the video, I like to do a market analysis, cheap, middle, and expensive categories, but there's no real competitors for this shoe. If you say Jordan 1, you're just gonna get a Jordan 1. And then that's to show the provenance of the shoe and the history of the shoe and the icon status of the shoe. People have copied it. There's fakes out there. I think Collegium is a brand that did like a Chicago kind of b-ball shoe. Other brands maybe copy the color blocking a little bit, but you're not really gonna wanna go for anything out. You're just gonna be like, you know what, because the market is down on these as well. You get them for cheap, pretty much cheap, like cheaper than retail, honestly. So in that case, why not just get the actual Jordan 1? The closest to this would be the Black Toes. The Black Toes I actually like the Black Toes more than this, but because I got this, I was like, there's no point in buying another shoe and then doing the whole swap and spending the time. It's fine. But you could also, as I said, get a retro 95, whatever year that the one released in the 2010s was it 2016 maybe? But anyways, you could do that, but again, just go for the cheapest one that you can get because they're all Chicago's at the end of the day and they're all going to serve the same style purpose. Okay, now that we've talked pretty much very loosely and shallowly about the Jordan 1, again, we're not going to go into this is a styling channel, so no history here as much. If you want those details, I'm pretty sure there's other channels out there for you that go deep into the historical archives of this shoe, but we're here to style it, so let's get into it. So we have my Supreme furry hat on top, Easy Gap cropped hoodie, Averex vintage leather jacket, a vintage Japanese bandana, McQueen wide leg trousers, and a belt that you can't see, brown knitted belt, and also the Chicago 1s. So here's the fit. Wanted to go with something super simple today, nothing too crazy. Different cuts and silhouettes and frills and all that other jazz. Because you're gonna be rocking this casually, comfortably. You can elevate it if you want, but then I'd rather you go with a leather, like a full leather shoe, like a derby or a tabby or what have you. So with this fit, as usual, we're gonna go fit, contrast, and proportion. My proprietary framework to style anything and everything. So let's start off with fit. Fit, as I say, is the easiest to get right. You know what's going to work well on you versus what isn't going to work well on you. You can see it on the rack, right, if something's going to fit or not. With this, again, casual, wide fitting, kind of cropped. So we'll get into that in the proportion side of things, the silhouetting. But very loose. Nothing that's sort of cinching where it shouldn't be cinching, or is too loose where it shouldn't be loose, where it takes away from the form and structure of the outfit. So as usual, fit is good to go. Next we have contrast. Now contrast is split into two different things, contrast of colors and contrast in textures. I always say a golden rule is to complete the circle. So if you have one color on your body, you should have another piece on your body that is the same color. Just have flow and harmony throughout the entire outfit. So getting into it, obviously red and red, completed the circle on red, blue on the denim here, blue on my bandana that I've wrapped around my jacket here, so you completed the circle on blue, beigeish brown here, beigeish brown on the jacket and also on the belt when it's visible. And then of course white on the shoes. I have white stitching on the pants, I have white on the bandana, and then there's also white on the hat as well. So in terms of colors, everything flows. Next we have textures. I always say for textures you want to combine the same piles, so put the circle on piles. A little bit of a fuzzy hat here. I think if I had a scarf with the same texture, which I kind of do, but it's super hot outside, it's not hot outside, but it would be super hot outside with the scarf. So you can add in a scarf with a brown texture like this, which I think a lot of you might have. Wrap it around your head kind of like babushka style, put it in your hoodie, and then go out like that. We're not going to go too crazy on that right now, but that is something that you can do. Leather and leather, complete the circle on leather, and then everything else is low pile cotton, pretty much, which goes well with each other. So yeah, so when it comes to texture, it's all right, but again, you maybe want to balance out the furriness up here with maybe a scarf that you could wrap around your waist or put it on your neck as well. Lastly, and most importantly, we have proportion. Proportion is the hardest to get right. You have to really understand your body to understand your body's proportions, and then further research clothes that fit those proportions, which is really tough because manufacturers make clothing for a general populace. In this instance, I have leveraged the hourglass proportion, which is the best proportion to really get started with if you want to understand your body. Starting off with the waist, everything sort of goes from the waist up or the waist down, like an hourglass. Cropped here with the hoodie, cropped here with the jacket, low-rise denim, so it fits on the hip, not the waist, which is kind of like a place that I don't usually go with. I like a high-waisted pant because it makes my legs appear longer, but we're doing a streetwear style kind of video, so I went with low-rise this time. But you can see just how if I go like this, the hourglass is here, I'm going to extend up, cuts off right here, and then it goes up. So in terms of proportion, that's really what you want to leverage. All right, my camera was bugging, we're back. So yeah, in terms of proportion, that's really what you want to leverage when you want to get started. But this is a shape that human beings have found attractive for a very long time. You hear the hourglass shape, specifically for women. Men can leverage it too, and I urge you to do that. I've even increased the proportion on my head by having a hat. So I've further elongated my head profile, just giving me a little bit of a taller look, which is seen as more attractive in today's society. But that's it, guys. Thanks again for tuning into this episode. We'll be back next weekend as usual, and we'll see what I review then. Even I don't know. But that's about it. Thanks for watching. Peace.